Let's do a somber weekly summary. And even though it's the middle of the week right now, the government just shut down. So, congratulations there. I did some other videos about that. And I'm just wondering about the state of the state and what's actually happening in the country right now. And I'm just looking at this lack of respect for human life. And I don't know, maybe it's one of those algorithm things where I just kind of got caught up watching the same kind of video where people get beat up or stabbed or some other issue happens and people just don't care. I mean, there's so many things that happen right in front of us that our first instinct is to get the camera out and to videotape it. And instead of, helping the victim or helping someone actually, I don't know, be saved per se. And I think it comes down to we've been conditioned now where it's like anybody this Daniel Penny or Kyle Rittenhouse who tries to save something and then they get caught up in the swept and their whole lives are somewhat ruined, depending on how you look at it. But it's an awful situation. And then, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, comes out and says, we need a fit military. And people lose their mind like, oh, my God, that's racist. Like, what are you talking about? And hopefully you've seen those on those. But it's like, we need a fit military. That's it. Bottom line. And people are like, well, he said it wrong and he should have been, more comforting and caring. Like, it's a military. This should not be comforting. Our enemies right now are not being comforting and caring. They want to kill us. There's a lot of people, a lot of countries, governments out there that want to bring down the United States. And if you think that's an overstatement, well, you need to get out more. But I don't know. When Charlie Kirk passed, I still think about that every day, and it's a hard thing because it united people, and yet at the same time identified people that were on the opposite side of it, for lack of a better word. And it was crushing. It was really crushing to see a father and a husband and just a man of faith, go down the way he did. And his memory will live on, of course it will, but at the same time, these people are just out there. But I mean, and the fact that they're out there, the fact that they can celebrate a death like that is absolutely phenomenal, in more ways than one, and phenomenal not in a good way. But I look at that stuff, and then there's again, back to the lack of respect. You talk about the airlines, people are flying and they're doing all kinds of crazy things, and it's just like they're having a bad day. So everybody has to have a bad day. You got to put your feet up on the chairs. And you're just like, when did all this become okay? And I'm almost at the point where it comes down to, if someone wants to mouth off or do something, it's almost an eye for an eye, if anything, but just remove them from the situation and call it a day. That's it. There's no thinking. There's no planning. It's just like, you want to throw something at a Molotov cocktail at the police, at ICE, then basically you're gone. That's it. Yeah, just take them out, put them in prison, put them in jail, let them sober up, figure it out. Then we're done, and we move on from there. And you following what's happening in New York City right now? I did a couple videos on Mamdani and what that could bring to New York, and it's like, all right, can the United States afford to lose New York City? That's a question. That's a question for you. Could we afford to basically back up and say, sorry, that's it? Now, I feel bad for the people living in New York. If someone like Mamdani, a socialist, communist, comes in there and says, hey, he's going to do all these things, I'm wondering, all of us in other states, are people from New York City going to move out? Are they going to embrace him? What are they going to do? Are they going to flee? Are they going to flee to Florida, to Tennessee, to Texas? Are they going to go? What are they going to do? Because the rich aren't going to live there after the taxes get hit. He's literally talking about bringing down white neighborhoods. So where do these people go? And it's frustrating to think that you could have a mass exodus. But again, could the United States actually afford to lose New York City? And I guess that's the question. And we might find he has an 80% chance to win. So, it's going to be an interesting thing to follow up for sure. And, if you read the reports back in the 70s, I think it was, for all the drugs and all the crime and everything, and then it came back. So is this a wake-up call for the rest of the country? And will other cities, cities or states follow through with this, the country as a whole I was trying to get to? But will we follow up and say, oh, this is what we want. This is the way we want to go. Just how is that all going to happen? And then, of course, back to the government shutdown. I'm sorry for all the people that are being furloughed, losing their jobs, getting fired, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, isn't that a good thing for a limited government? Don't we want that to happen? And I think we'll kind of see. It's hard because you look at the reports and the people are like, we're fully against this and we're fully against that. And they're so far on the sides. Who actually gives in? I mean, if the whole thing is about illegal aliens getting health care, and you can call it what you want, Medicaid being reimbursed, all those things, if it strictly comes down to illegal immigrants getting health care and Medicare and all the other cares that you want to throw it on there, where is that point where you just say, no, we just can't do it? With $37.5 trillion in debt, we just can't do it anymore. And I'm wondering how that all plays out with the whole country for it. So a lot of things happening, as there always is, but it's just one of those things where, gosh, last week I was on a motorcycle run for my grandfather, and it was just me. It was just me on the road, and it was amazing. And then to come back and start reading news reports after news reports, watching video of stuff, and that's where we're at. So anyway, that's my summary. Let me know what you're thinking right now. Put in the comments what's happening. Please like and subscribe, of course, as usual. But let me know what's going on and in your world. Am I the negative side of everything right now? I feel like I am. But you know what? Let's do that. Share with me the positives. Share with me the amazing things. I just found out that a person that I knew, I can't really call her a friend, but she was very young and she died in an auto accident. I don't know the details about it, but that weighing on my mind because like she was the future, I thought. And I wish I would have known her more. I didn't. I just saw her. I saw her at events. We talked briefly, said hi, did the thing. Now she's gone. And that sucks. That really does suck. But anyway, reach out to your friends. Talk to them. If you got people that are going through trouble right now, just say hi. It can mean the world to them. It can mean the difference between a lot of different things. And just do that. So reach out. Be good. Be positive. Respect other people for gosh sakes. And love God. And weekly summary. Truth between lines. Thanks. Between the lines.